A very good morning to you all, my dear children. Welcome back to English language class. Hope you all are fine. Yes? Children, today we are going to start our new chapter, that is chapter 26, the passive revision. See, children, this chapter is also the revision of active and passive voice, which you have already done in your previous classes, isn't it? So, it's just a revision. This chapter is just a revision. We will go through the main things, that is definition of voice and difference between active and passive voice. We'll go through that and then we will do the exercises of this chapter. Okay. So, children, what do you mean by voice? Voice is the form of a verb takes to indicate whether the subject of the verb performs or receives the action. Okay, whether the subject performs or receives the action. So, based on that, two types of voice are there: active voice and passive voice. Clear? So, children, difference between active and passive voice. Okay, so active voice, it tells us what a person or thing does. So the subject performs the action on the object. Okay, clear? And in passive voice, the passive voice tells what is done to someone or something. So that means the subject is being acted upon. So for active voice, the structure will be subject plus verb plus object, and in passive voice, it will be object plus verb plus subject. Okay, here one example is given. Anna painted the house. This is active voice, and when we change into passive, it becomes house was painted by Anna. Clear? Children, there are two ways in which we can describe an action performed by a subject in relation with the object. Okay. So, the first one is the active. Okay. The first one is the active voice, and here subject performs the action and object receives the action. Okay, so the sentence structure is subject verb object, and in passive object, second one is by passive way. That means here an action is performed by the object, an action is performed on the object by the subject. Okay, so action is performed on the object by the subject. So sentence structure is object plus helping verb plus third form of the verb plus by plus subject. Clear? Now let us take an example. Mayank repaired my car. This is in active voice. Okay. When we change into passive voice, how it will be? My car was repaired by Mayank. Okay. So children, there are 5 steps to change the active into passive voice. Okay, so what are they? First, we have to identify in that sentence, we have to identify which one is the subject, which one is the object, and then which one is the verb. Then we have to do the swap. That means we have to change the subject into object and object into subject. Then the third one is convert the verb into third form of the verb, that is V3 form of the verb, and then add helping verb before the main verb, and fifth one is add by before subject, that means preposition. It's always not necessary to add by before the subject, but most of the time we use by. Okay, this preposition by. So these are the 5 steps which we use to change an active voice into passive voice. Clear, children? Children, while changing the subject, which is a pronoun, when we are changing it into an object, you have to keep this in mind that I changes to me, he changes to him, she to her, we to us, they to them. Okay? Add a proper helping verb of to be before main verb. Now here you can see how to add a helping verb before a main verb. Here you can see I have here three columns are there. In one column there is tense, in the other one active voice, and then change into passive voice. How for each tense, how we change the active into passive. Okay, when it is simple present tense, for example here the action is taken as write. Okay, so when it is singular we use writes, and it is plural, as subject is plural, we use write. Okay, so for when we are changing it into passive voice, we add is, or are plus third form of the verb. Okay, when it is present continuous tense, that is active voice will be in the form of is, are plus ing form of the verb, here writing. It will be changed into passive voice by adding is or or are plus being plus third form of the verb. Okay, that is written. If the sentence is in present tense, or the active voice, if it is like this, have written, like have is in, I mean, if the active voice is in present tense, perfect tense, then it will be changed into have been written, have plus been. Okay, have plus been will be added, and third form of the verb. For simple past tense, it will be was or were. Okay, plus third form of the verb. For past continuous tense, if the active voice is in past continuous tense, you have to use was or were plus being plus written. Okay, if it is in past perfect tense, you have to use had been written. Okay, that means third form of the verb. For simple future, will be written, that is will be plus third form of the verb. And for future perfect, will have been plus third form of the verb. Okay, so when you are changing an active voice into a passive voice, always keep the tense in your mind, and then the subject you are changing. That means the subject becomes the object, isn't it? And object becomes the subject when you are converting active into passive voice. So keep that subject also in your mind, and the tense. Okay, when the active sentences are having two objects, then how we will change it into passive sentence. Okay, so when there are two objects in an active sentence, there are two possible active sentences. Okay, and two possible passive sentences. Here first active sentence is the professor gave the students the books, or the professor gave the books to the students. These are active sentences. Okay, so here you can see that in first one, two objects are there. That means indirect, in these sentences two objects are there. That is indirect object is the student, and direct object is the book. Okay, so always an indirect object is a person, direct object is a thing. Okay, so here now you can see that sentences, when it is active, both the sentences I have taken here. The professor gave the student the book. So subject is the professor, gave verb, indirect object is the student, and direct object is the books. And same for the second sentence. The professor is the subject, gave is the verb, direct object is the books, and indirect object is the students, to the students. Okay, so each of the objects, book and students, in the active sentence can become subject in the passive sentence. Clear? So you all know that the what is subject in the active, it will become object in the passive. So now what will be the passive for the first sentence? The students, yes, the students were given the books. Who is the agent here? By the professor. And in the second one, the books were given to the students by the professor. Clear? So when there are two objects given in a sentence, and if we have to change into passive, we can use in these two forms. We can do that. Okay, we can change the active into passive. Verb forms in different voices. Okay, so here you can see three columns are given, and in one column the tense is mentioned, and second one active voice, and third one passive voice. Okay, so first of all, if the sentence or the active voice is in simple present tense, what will be the form? Subject plus verb. Okay, first form of the verb. For example, Raju writes poems. So here when you change into passive voice, it will be like this: subject plus is or am or are plus third form of the verb. So how it will be? Poems are written by Raju. Okay, if it is present continuous tense, subject plus is or are or am plus ing form of the verb. Okay, so that is Raju is writing poems. So how it will be in passive voice? Subject plus is or am plus are, is or am or are plus being plus third form of the verb. Like it will this passive voice for the sentence will be, for this Raju is writing forms will be, poems are being written by Raju. If it is in present perfect tense, the active voice will be in this way: subject plus has or have plus third form of the verb. So one example is, the birds have eaten the grain. Okay, so how will the passive voice will be? Subject plus has or have plus been plus third form of the verb. So the sentence will be like this: the grain has been eaten by the birds. Clear? Next is, if the sentence is in present perfect continuous, and then the active voice will be in this structure: subject plus has or have plus been plus ing form of the verb. The example is given: the carpenter has been repairing the chairs. So here there will be no change in the passive voice. We can't change it into passive voice. So present perfect continuous, the sentence is in this form, we can't change. Okay, coming up to the next one, for past tense, simple past, subject active voice will be in the form of subject plus past form of the verb. Example, the dog lost the bone. How it will be? The subject plus was or were plus third form of the verb. So the dog was the bone was, here the bone. Okay, the bone was lost by the dog. So the active voice in past continuous tense, subject plus was or were plus ing form of the verb. The gardener was watering the plant. The passive form will be subject plus was or were plus being plus V3 form of the verb. That is, the plants were watered by the gardener. If the sentence active voice is in past perfect tense, the structure will be subject plus had plus V3 form of the verb. So here example is, the boys had eaten all the sweets. So when it will be changed into passive voice, had been plus V3 form of the verb we have to add. So all the sweets had been eaten by the boys. Okay, clear? So for past perfect continuous tense also there will be no change. Okay, the structure for active voice will be subject plus had plus been plus ing form of the verb. Okay, now for future simple future tense, the structure for active voice will be subject plus will plus first form of the verb. The children will write the notes. When it will be changed into passive form, it will be subject plus will be plus V3 form of the verb. That means the notes will be written by the children. Coming up to next, future continuous tense, the active voice will be in the structure of subject plus will be plus ing form of the verb. Here V4 means ing form of the verb. Okay, so example is, the sweeper will be cleaning the streets. Okay, so what will be the change? No change. Here Future continuous, for future continuous there is no change in the form. Okay, future for if the sentence active voice is in future perfect tense, it will be in the structure of subject plus will plus have plus V3 form of the verb. For example, the carpenter will have repaired the chairs. Then what will be the passive voice for this? Subject plus will plus have been. So the chairs will have been, okay, will have been repaired by the carpenter. Here been, okay. So will have been repaired by the carpenter. Clear, children? And children, for future perfect tense also there will be no change in the structure when we are changing active into, we can't change active into passive voice. I hope this much is clear to you, how to change active into passive voice. And if there is no subject mentioned, okay, in the active voice, if we don't know the subject, we usually in passive the subject disappears, okay. That we will do when I will explain when we do the exercise, okay. So dear children, let us start doing our exercises. Page number, please open page number 154 of your textbook, the passive revision. So here it is given, the passive is formed by adding a past participle to one of the tense of the verb to be. Yes, isn't it? And I have explained how you have to add the helping verb, or how you have to change the active into passive voice, isn't it? Now let us start our exercises. So here comes the first exercise. Exercise A, change into passive. Yes. So in the next page it is given. The first exercise is change into the passive. So first one is I see. Isn't it? I see. So it will, when we change into passive, how it will be? I am seen. Okay, I am seen. Third form of the verb. I am seen. This is simple present, isn't it? Second one, he is kicking. He is kicking. So this is present continuous tense. So how it will be? The passive form will be he is being kicked. He is being kicked. Third one, you have told. You have told. So this is present perfect tense. So what will be added? Have been, isn't it? Then how it the passive form will be? You have been told. Okay. Fourth one, we helped. We helped. This is simple past tense, isn't it? So how it will be? The passive voice, how we change this into passive? We were helped. Okay. Fifth one, they were selling. They were selling. This is past continuous tense. So the passive sentence will be, they were selling. This is past continuous tense, isn't it? So we have to use were being, isn't it? So they were being sold. Okay, they were being sold. Third form of the verb is sold. Okay. So this is clear to you people. So I hope rest of the exercise 6 to 10 you can do it by yourself. Yes. Now here you can see one important thing is written here. When we are changing the active into passive and we don't know the subject, or the subject is unimportant, what will happen? As I told you earlier, that in the passive these subjects will disappear. Okay, so here example is given, someone threw a stone. So what will be the passive of this sentence? Because we don't know the subject, somebody or someone threw. Okay, so when we change into passive we are not mentioning the subject. So how it will be? A stone was thrown. Okay. Second one, they are making a new road. So subject is not known here. A new road is being made. So like this, when we are not knowing the subject, we are not writing the subject in the passive form. Okay, so let us do exercise B, change into passive. as in the example. So here the subject is not known, so we have to change them into passive form. So first one is someone took it away. So passive will be it was taken away. It was taken away. Second one, they are painting our school. They are painting our school. Present continuous. Yes. So what will be the passive form? Our school is being painted. Okay, our school is being painted. Third one, people speak English here. People speak English here. So passive form will be English is spoken here. English is spoken here. Okay. Fourth one, someone painted the statue red. What will be the passive form? The statue was painted red. Fifth one, they have closed the library. How will be the passive form? The library has been closed. Okay, library has been closed. Okay, this is in present perfect tense na, so we have to use has or have been. Okay, plus third form of the verb. So I hope all these questions which I did right now is clear to you people, and rest of the questions 6 to 10 you can do by yourself. Okay, try to do it. Okay children, as I told you already that some sentences we are having two objects, direct and indirect objects. So we can make the passive, we can change into passive in two ways. So here one example is given. They gave him a cricket bat for his birthday. So we can change into passive in two ways. Like here the both the ways are written here. He was given a cricket bat for his birthday, or we can write like a cricket bat was given to him for his birthday. Okay, so we can write we can use both these two forms, any of the two forms. Okay, so now we have to do next exercise, that is exercise C, change into passive. So first one is they gave her the prize. They gave her the prize. So here also two objects are here, her and the price. Okay, so we can write in any two ways. So I am saying she was given the prize. Okay, she was given the prize. Second one, someone handed him a note. And children, you can also write for the first one. I told they gave her the prize, she was given the prize, or the prize was given to her. Okay, you can use both the ways. So like this you have to do all the exercise. Second one also, someone handed him a note. So he was handed a note, or a note was handed to him. Okay, like this you do all the questions of this exercise. You can use any of the two ways, because here two objects are here there. Okay, so children, in all the exercises, that means A to C, so far here the agent or the person who is doing the action is unimportant. Like in all the questions we have seen that the agent is not there. We are using someone, they, people, like that. Okay, so when we are changing into passive form for these, the agent has been left out. Okay, so when we are adding such phrases like someone, if we are adding like this, it doesn't add any meaning to the sentence. Okay, the meaning is complete without them also. So but sometimes what happens, we need an agent to complete the meaning. So that means an agent should be mentioned there. For example, here it is given. Here you can see one example is given. Mr. Roy produced the play. Okay. So what will be the passive form? The play was produced by Mr. Roy. Okay. So here the agent is necessary. Agent is needed here to complete the action. Okay, or to complete the meaning. Okay. So now we have to change in exercise D, we have to change into the passive mentioning the agent. Okay. The agent means the one who is doing the action. Okay. So the first one is the headmaster made the announcement. The headmaster made the announcement. What will be the passive form? The announcement was made by the headmaster. Okay. Second one, a cricket ball hit him. He was hit by a cricket ball. He was a lorry ran over him. So, what will be the passive form? He was run over by a lorry. Fourth one, lightning struck the church tower. The church tower was struck by lightning. Fifth one, a swarm of bees invaded the classroom. So, the classroom was invaded by a swarm of bees. Children, like this, you do rest of the question 6 to 10. Okay. And as mentioning the agent, when we are changing the passive, mention the agent also. Okay. So, dear children, I hope you understood all the exercises. That means the topic to change active into passive. I hope you understood how to change active into passive, and you just go through the video once more and pause the video wherever you need to know more about that topic. Do all the exercises, complete the exercises, and we will discuss it in our live class. Okay. Thank you so much, dear children.